Yo, what is going on, guys? So the last balance changes were a little over 2.5 weeks ago at this point, and since then the meta has gotten a lot better to the point where I actually hit Masters 2 with over a week left in the season. Masters 3 push still ongoing, but there are still some brawlers, a few standouts, Mina, who kind of dodged the balance changes or didn't get quite nerfed enough in the balance changes to where they're still really good. And in fact, you're looking at one of those brawlers right now on your screen, Ollie. So, you know, Brawl Stars has decided in their infinite wisdom, I guess while we still have 2 weeks before Brawl World Finals, and when teams are currently in the midst of practicing and drafting and scrimming, to implement a new set of balance changes that will impact the state of the game even more. Now, I believe it's 6 or 7 brawlers that are It's 7 brawlers that are being changed in this new patch, and it will hit as I'm recording this video tomorrow. It'll come in on Wednesday after maintenance. So yeah, it's good that I'm getting the jump start on recording this video, so I don't have to try to get footage for this at 3 a.m. again, and then the game goes down to maintenance. I'm like, fuck, no video. We're here, we're early, and I guess let's just jump right into these balance changes, shall we? All of these are nerfs. I'm actually skimming over this list. They're all nerfs, so pretty solid start, honestly, because it's basically just nerfing all brawlers that are a little too strong right now, mostly in competitive. And of course, starting off, I did mention this, Ollie is getting nerfed. Let's start off with the Ollie nerf. So Ollie's damage is going from 2,000 to 1,800. And his gadget, All Eyes on Me, this one that changes his next attack into a Hypnotize, is getting his cooldown increase from 15 to 18 seconds. Now, straight off the bat, okay, I will say this gadget cooldown increasing is definitely very fair, because his other gadget, Jump, is on a 20-second cooldown, and honestly, people are spamming this second gadget right now in ranked. It's essentially just the better one, because you kind of use it as a pull, essentially, where you can just every 15 seconds press it and then pull someone towards you, because if it hits, it hypnotizes them. And it's like a gray gadget, really. Like they're forced to walk towards you. It can hit multiple people at once. It can pierce through pets or whatever. You can't body block it. And probably one of the strongest effects of all is the fact that you can combo it with your super and the hypnotize stack. So Ollie's super hypnotize you for 2.5 seconds. If you hit them with the gadget, they're hypnotized for 3.5 seconds. And even though Ollie super does take away your ammo when you use it to kind of prevent you from shooting too many shots, it only takes away 1.5 ammo pieces. So if you use your super when you have 2.5 ammo pieces, you can immediately gadget, hypnotize them with your gadget, and then hypnotize them again with the Ollie super. It is a true combo. There is no way you can possibly dodge it if you don't dodge that first attack. And so that is basically what is making Ollie extremely good, even after his already nerfs that he got over 2 weeks ago, which, if you want a quick refresher, was when they nerfed his hypercharge rate from 3.33 supers to 4 supers. They nerfed his jump to a dash and lowered the speed and range of that jump, which is now a dash. And they also nerfed his star power that gave him a shield from 4,000 to 3,000 HP. And even with that, all those nerfs, he's actually still one of the best brawlers in the game. So now they're finally nerfing him with this gadget a little bit. Although 3-second cooldown increase is not going to be that impactful, in my opinion. Like 20-second gadget, 20-second cooldown on the jump gadget, the jump gadget is still good. Okay, 18-second cooldown on the All Eyes on Me gadget, I think this gadget is still gonna be good. You just have to wait 3 extra seconds. That's not really that big of a deal. That's the difference between, you know, like a few hundred HP on a shield gear regen. Like it's really not too much time to wait more for this gadget, since a lot of the time you're kind of, you know, waiting for good opportunities anyways with Ollie. Like, I think the gadget nerf is almost negligible, especially since the cooldown is still under 20 seconds in total. But the attack damage, I think, could be a little bit more significant. Now, I'm not sure exactly if the attack damage nerf will impact his supercharge rate at all, because if that does mean that he takes like an extra hit to get his super, that could actually be a big deal. So historically, attack damage changes do impact supercharge rates, but more important than that is that going from 2,000 damage to 1,800 damage will change a lot of interactions. So before, Ollie could 3-shot a lot of brawlers with 6,000 HP, especially with that pull gadget. Like I said, you hypnotize them and they're forced to walk into you while you pump them with 2 more shots, and that's just a guaranteed kill on a lot of brawlers. Like, for example, Byron with shield gear only has 5,700 HP, and before it was a 3-shot for Ollie with the hypnotize gadget. Now Ollie will only deal 5,400 damage with 3 attacks, so that's no longer going to be a 3-shot on Byron with shield gear, right? that's actually gonna be maybe more significant than you might think. I think the damage nerf, it both is impactful and isn't impactful. Like, it's not gonna change all these core mechanics of doing what he does, where he hypnotizes you and then kills you. Like, now with the damage nerf, you're gonna have to use Ollie more as a support than before, where you're gonna need to rely on teammates to finish off the kills a little bit. Still, a 3.5 second hypnotize on Ollie's kit is still gonna be extremely strong. His hypercharge still does what it does, where it has a bigger radius, and he still has a dash that's really fast and a little bit longer in range than his normal super. That's actually still really strong too. So in my opinion, I actually think Ollie, he will get worse, but I think he'll be kind of nerf resistant. I think he'll still be good. If you're a good Ollie, you can still probably make this brawler work, to be honest. Because not to mention, like, his speed star power or his HP hasn't been changed at all, which I think is like kind of what pros are really feeling right now. I'm not a great Ollie, so I can't really tell you, but my guess is he's actually still going to be kind of good, pretty good, really strong. Maybe we'll see tomorrow. Maybe I'll play Ollie in a ranked video. All right, so that was a long yap on Ollie. All right, so next up, I guess let's go ahead and talk about Mina's nerfs, because Mina's also getting nerfed. She is probably undisputedly the best brawler in the game right now, and her balance change in the last patch 2.5 weeks ago was just to her third attack damage, which dealt 400 less damage now, and her supercharge rate got nerfed by, you know, people say 40%, but really it didn't feel that significant, honestly, because she just got her super so fast anyways. So, and Mina's also got some sneaky gadget cooldown nerfs, I think by 2 seconds on each one. But overall, like, you know, in the same way that I think an Ollie gadget cooldown nerf won't really change the fact that the gadget itself is just strong. Like, these gadgets being 20 seconds doesn't fucking matter. People are still spamming windmill. People are still using Capo Wa to chain supers, and it's pretty broken. Not to mention, you know, she needed more than just a 400 damage nerf off of her third attack, because, you know, most of the time people aren't even using the third attack. They just use the first two and deal, what is that, like 4,400 damage in a quick 2-shot combo, run up, do it again. She's super deadly at a pretty long range, but this time around, on the second passover of balance changes, she is in fact getting her damage nerf even more significantly than last time, I think. Damage now on this second attack, it's going from 2,800 to only 2,000 damage, which is actually a pretty fat damage nerf. It's actually going to be only 400 damage off from the first attack, which is really weird, I guess. Actually not what I expected at all. And on top of that, she's also getting her HP reduced by 800. So sounds like Adrian has had enough of all of these memes going around about, you know, oh, Adrian has a fucking Brazilian fetish. He's biased towards Mina. What is he doing? He doesn't know anything about the game. How could he possibly not see a 98% ban rate in the LCQ and a 100% win rate in the one game she was played, where she carried the fuck out of that game? And how can he watch this and not nerf the fuck out of Mina? What the hell are these nerfs? Adrian, what are you doing? And he's had enough. He's like, enough with the slander, okay? I can be competent, and I do, in fact, was W slur at my J slur. I will earn my keep. And he's decided to, what I think, essentially clip Mina's wings quite a lot, because this second attack actually is, like I said, it's one of the main attacks that Mina uses to get a big burst of damage, because it does almost 3,000 damage, and it's getting cut in its damage by like almost 30%. I mean, shit, man. She's just gonna deal a lot less punch in her pack. Not to mention an 800 HP nerf is also actually quite a lot on an assassin like Mina. You know, she does still have the healing star power that people use, and the third attack is still pretty good at healing her up. Like, it'll heal 2,000 HP. And, you know, she also has that gadget that's just a buster shield, but she's also allowed to shoot during it. She's just gonna have a lot less surviving potential. She's gonna feel a lot less tanky and do a lot less damage, which I actually think it might not make her the strongest brawler in the game anymore. Now, she's still gonna be extremely mobile. Her reload speed's not changed. Her movement speed hasn't changed, right? She still has this hypercharge, which I'm not sure if I've actually ever seen anyone use this, because Mina is banned in 98% of my games too in ranked. So honestly, I don't even actually remember how bad it feels to play against a Mina. It's been a while. I guess we'll have to see, but I think she might actually maybe be worth not banning. Is that weird to say? I'll have to test her out and let you guys know. we will see. We might be throwing a lot of my elo right now in Masters 2. Oh shit. Fuck. Damn, I'm gonna have to test this in ranked, and I'm gonna lose elo for this. Damn it. You know, good change from Adrian. Nice job. You actually might have done a very significant nerf on the most broken brawler in the game. W Adrian. All right, next up, we have a nerf to a brawler that I actually said didn't get touched enough either. This is another brawler that Adrian, yet he was just warming up 2.5 weeks ago. He is practice touching, and now he is a pro at touching. because he is finally touching the hell out of this mushroom, Cordelius. So before, Cord just got a very, very slight damage nerf on his combo shroom star power. It went from dealing 30% increased damage to 20% increased damage, which is only on the star power, which only affects the second mushroom on an attack. Yeah, it's a nice nerf, I guess, but it's not bad. It's like not at all enough compared to the 20% damage buff he got on his basic attack, relatively speaking. So yeah, Cord has still been extremely strong. I ban him in like every game because I just assume my teammates will handle the Mina ban if it ever comes down to it. And so far, that's actually been working out for me. But, I guess Adrian has seen the insanely high ban rate and probably win rate on Cordelius when he is picked and decided to step up and do something about it. He is the ref doing something. Oh my gosh, Adrian, W not being a bystander. What a hero. He has decided to nerf Cordelius' super movement speed bonus. So when he is in the Shadow Realm, Cord gets a 20% higher movement speed and 30% faster reload speed. That's being reduced to only 10% increased movement speed bonus. And then the reload speed is being reduced from 30% to 20%. Adrian, the damage isn't changed at all. All right, wait a minute, Adrian, what the hell? So he's gonna be less deadly during his super, but his actual stats, like the 2x1600 is not being changed. That's a really weird balance change. I actually don't know how to rate that one because like Cord, obviously his realm is always kind of like, you get taken to it and you're just at a big disadvantage because Cord now has an insane movement speed and reload speed boost and he can kind of just get you. But now it feels less like the cards are just less stacked against you when Cord takes you to the realm. So now you can kind of maybe do something, except when he hypercharges you, then you're fucked. But you're kind of able to, I guess, it's more like just a classic 1v1, maybe a traditional 1v1, especially if you can like outrange him a little bit, or get behind a wall and kind of play ring around the rosy with him. I don't know, because if he's not gonna be able to chase you down as easily, then he might just not be able to kill you in this realm as easily. That'll be interesting to see. I don't know how to really rate this one, honestly. I don't let me know what you guys think about this nerf in the comments. Maybe I'll have to brush up on my Cord, play some Cord, test Cord out in a video. So that's an interesting one. I think he'll still be good though. Like, actually, I'm looking at this because it's not changing his base stats at all outside of his super, which is also extremely strong. So fuck, Adrian, you need to touch the mushroom more. Touch your mushroom, touch the mushroom guy more, please. All right, next up we've got Byron's balance sheet, guys. Byron is getting nerfed. Oh my goodness, holy shit. So this actually is kind of more in line with just a general hypercharge broken bullshit being nerfed. Byron's hyper is getting its number of darts reduced from 12 to 6. So right now, when Byron hypercharges, I mean, you guys have all seen it. It shows like a massive shotgun of darts. It's 12 of them apparently around the circle in a ring. And that is really good because it essentially makes it increases the range of his super. It makes so if you kind of just lob it at someone, they're basically guaranteed to get hit by something, whether it's the initial splash or the ring around. And you can actually sometimes hit them with both the splash and the ring too if they're standing at the edge of it. It's really fucking good. Its charge rate is also pretty fast, relatively speaking, and Byron's shots are also kind of easy to hit, so you can kind of farm these out if you're playing a really good Byron. So the dart number has been reduced from 12 to only 6. It's been reduced by half, which means that there's going to be safe zones now to where you can actually dodge the darts from the super hypercharge. So we're gonna have to learn that, which is actually, I think, kind of cool. I like that. I like the idea of that, making having a little counterplay to a pretty strong ability. But not only that, the projectile speed of the darts from the hypercharge is also going to be reduced slightly. This is what the wording of this balance changed. So yeah, I think the main thing is just you're going to be able to actually dodge Byron hypercharge now if you kind of stand at max range. You don't just have to kind of be behind a wall and not behind a wall and outrange ring him all the time. That's pretty good. Although that being said, you can actually still auto in Byron super and hit it as long as they are within range. So like you can probably still hit people with the initial splash with Byron hyper, but now I think it'll actually be more rare to get extra hits from the Byron hyper than before. Like how often are you actually going to hit people with Byron hyper's extra darts? And if you're not even really hitting people with the extra darts, then is Byron hyper kind of just going to be more like Byron's regular super? This is going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how they handle reducing the number of darts. Like if it's going to be the set pattern every time, like spike shots, regardless of the angle he shoots it in, or if it's going to change its angle depending on the direction it throws. Probably it's going to be a set pattern. I assume it's going to be a separate. That actually makes the most sense. So we'll see. I think Byron will actually be still pretty strong, is my guess. Byron, before he got his hypercharge, was already pretty good. He was a solid brawler. And then he got his hypercharge and he was just like insane because his hypercharge charge rate was so fast, and then they nerfed the charge rate and then they nerfed the effect now. But Byron as a brawler, just being able to heal, his shots are still as fat as fuck, and his super is still really good and easy to hit. Gadget still gets him a super instantly. I think he'll still be strong. We'll see. Maybe you'll see Gus being picked more though instead of Byron at like ranged maps and stuff. All right, next up, my queen Kaze is getting nerfed. What? Holy. Brawl Stars hates skill. Hates rewarding high skill play. No, I mean that's fair though. Kaze is broken. The invis gadget for the main thing is one of the most bullshit things right now about this brawler, where you know the gadget cooldown is only 6 seconds, which means she's gonna get invis potentially every 12 seconds, but more likely it's gonna be like every 14-15 seconds, just 16-17, because of how, you know, you switching your forms kind of works. But the invis duration on it is base form, it's 2 seconds right now, and then the star power that increases the duration of effects increases it to 3 is how it works. Now it's actually, this gadget's invis duration is being changed from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds, and then this star power will be increasing that by 50%. So that'll make it, what, 2.25 seconds of invis. So it's actually getting a pretty substantial invis nerf rate, right? You're losing like almost a full second on invis with this nerf effectively, which means that now people might be going heal. I mean, I don't know. She still has the invis. She's just not going to be able to travel as far with it, which means she's not going to be able to get as much value. I also should probably mention her dash super. Fist of the Brawl Star is the name of it. I didn't even know. It's getting its damage reduced from 3,000 to 2,720. The dash speed is also being reduced by 20%. I guess that's fair. The dash speed has always been fucking insane, but I don't know if that will, like, the range on the dash is still the same. I'll have to see for myself how a 20% speed nerf really feels. And also, like, the damage nerf is nice, but like the main thing I think for Kaze nerfs is going to be the nerf on the invis gadget. We'll have to see how this is, but I think she'll still be good. She might not be nearly as strong in every game mode though. I think she might mostly just be used on like heist and hot zone and gem grab now, maybe. I'm very curious to see the world finals when pros decide to play this, because like in, you know, their pro drafting, maybe I'll try to play Kaze too. My Kaze, in my opinion, is pretty solid. But yeah, it's one of those things where like, does nerfing this invis by this much mean that now going heal is more worth it, or are we still running invis? Because I think we're still running invis. I think it may just make sense to run the invis build, but I don't think any other brawler with an invis gadget has had their duration of invis changed like this. You know what I mean? Like Kit invis, they've only ever nerfed the cooldown on the gadget. They've never nerfed the duration. Same thing with Juju invis, I'm pretty sure. There's a chance that maybe the gadget is just really bad if you don't have the full like, invis time. We'll see what happens. But like Kaze just has so much in her kit that I feel like there's a chance she might still be really good regardless. She seems like one of those brawlers that's pretty nerf resistant. I don't know. All right, next brawler, second to last brawler with the nerfs, we've got the Meeple Hypercharge. So Meeple's Hypercharge, which is essentially a shade super for your whole team. I made a video about Meeple a couple days ago. Did pretty well with it in my ranked games, and now they're deciding to nerf it after I've already gotten my Masters 2 bag from abusing Meeple. They're nerfing this hypercharge, it's going from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. So for one, I didn't even realize Meeple Super Hypercharge lasted 12 seconds. I think in my Meeple video, I was like, yeah, it lasts for like maybe 8 seconds. Turns out Meeple Hypercharge Super lasts for 12 seconds. I had no idea. What the hell? That shit is broken. Okay, that definitely deserved a nerf. Yeah, so that's the only change Meeple's getting. Hypercharge Super duration is going from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. So the charge rate is still only 2 supers. And Meeple's the rest of their entire kit, both gadgets, damaged, you know, gears, not that they would change that, but it's all the same. It's just Hypercharge. Super duration is getting nerfed by like 16.7% or something. I don't know, I can't do math, which I think is fair, but it's not gonna matter. Like, that's good, but I think Meeple's still gonna be really fucking strong. Like, they're literally considered, I think, a top 2 brawler in the game after Mina right now. I don't think they're dropping out of the S tier with this one. So yeah, you know, if you have Meeple upgraded, still feel free to just spam this brawler everywhere. And for the last balance change, last and honestly quite least, sorry to disappoint you, we have the Mo balance change. So Mo's Hypercharge is being nerfed to now start using ammo immediately when you activate it. If you don't know, and honestly, I wouldn't blame you for not really noticing this. Mo's hypercharge, and you use it for the first like entire duration of it, you actually don't use ammo, and then once the hypercharge effect runs out, then you can start using the ammo. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, that's kind of helpful, but like, does it really matter? I mean, most hypercharge just does so much random stuff. Like, it has longer range, longer like dash speed, more damage too, by the way, I think. Like, notice how the hyper drill right now is doing 644 damage per tick, and then when the hypercharge runs out, it's only dealing 560 damage per tick. That is the old 20% damage boost that Mo's hypercharge used to give him before they nerfed hypercharge stat boosts across the board. I've heard brawlers like Mo, and I think there was another one that has to do with like form changes. Is it maybe Bonnie? Yeah, and it is Bonnie too. Brawlers like Mo and Bonnie that change forms with their hypercharge, they didn't get the proper hypercharge stat boost nerf. So their hypercharge stat boosts are still like higher than they should be relative to other brawlers, which makes them technically actually a little bit better than other brawlers with their hypercharges. But regardless, you know, Mo's hyper, I don't know if they're going to change that. They didn't mention changing it, so I think they're not changing that. They're only changing the fact that Mo's hypercharge super used to give him like infinite ammo while he was hypercharged, but now that will start running out faster. I guess that's cool. Mo's hyper is technically like an insta delete button on anyone that he lands on successfully most of the time usually, but to be honest, it's kind of rare that you need to use all of Mo's. Like, by the time the hypercharge duration is over, in my experience with Mo hyper, I've already killed whatever target that I needed to kill, or even gotten multiple kills with it. And so I think in the same vein, like the amount of time it takes for Mo to use up a full ammo bar, I think you'll still be able to get whatever kill you need with Mo hyper. It'll probably still be almost as good as before, so that might not really be that big of a nerf at all. And that's all of the balance changes. So of these, my guess is Mina and Byron actually might be, and maybe Ollie might be the biggest hurt, like the biggest losers of this balance change. I think Cordelius and K's will be a little bit worse, but it's probably not going to be that noticeable, to be honest. Actually, maybe similar thing with Ollie. I don't know. I'll have to test it out myself to really see. Meeple and Mo, I think, are basically going to be not noticeable at all, and they're still going to be extremely strong brawlers. You know, for all the pretty spot-on balance changes that Adrian has done so far in addressing all of the really strong brawlers in the meta and nerfing all the broken hypercharges, it is kind of funny that Lily has dodged yet another set of balance changes. You know, I know she's not like the best brawler in the game right now by any means, and I've heard that Adrian is planning some more bigger balance changes on Lily's Vanish gadget, so that's like they need like an actual client update for, so they're not going to do it with the balance patch. But like, you know, like even just some kind of hypercharge rate nerf or something, I think maybe could be fair. She just hasn't been touched. Maybe Adrian is plant phobic. He just doesn't want to touch plants. He's a plant hater. He hates nature. He doesn't want to crack Lily and her sexy Thor. That's kind of my take on these balance changes after looking it over, but you let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. You know, just let me know. Just type up a big comment. Type up saying, "Yo, Bedlam, what a cool soul guy. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on the balance changes. I really appreciate you." While I am pooping on the toilet, I just finished wiping up. You know, got the last wipe in, came up clean with a little bit of blood, you know, just as it needs to be to make sure that you know that there is no more poop residue left in there. Now I'm going to start pulling up my pants and washing my hands with soap so I don't infect anyone with my disgusting poop germs. So type that comment and leave a big like. That's going to be for me. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you. Peace. Bye. Oh, fuck. I dropped my webcam.